What's new in the world of remote start and security? Customers now choose how they want to control their car. We offer 3 complete solutions. First one is your analog traditional security remote start, XpressStart 1 with a built-in interface with the remote start and security, and a complete digital solution. The analog is what we're used to in this industry as your standard remote start security. Directed came out with a complete solution for the customer and for the dealer as far as how remote starts get interfaced into the vehicle. Now, the customer can choose a complete solution that has the vehicle security remote start and interface all in one. That is the new XpressStart 1. What XpressStart 1 does for the customer is now they have a one complete solution. No more multiple modules getting placed in their vehicle. What it does for the dealer is it's cutting down the time it takes to put it in the vehicle. So what I'm going to do is we are going to flash the XpressStart 1. So first we're going to go to Xpresskit.com, open up our flashing website where we're going to flash the XpressStart 1. Here we are at Xpresskit.com. We're going to take our XK Loader 2, plug in our XpressStart 1. Once we plug that in, it will go to another page so we can start our flashing process. Here's the flashing wizard. We're going to select the car on the right-hand side to launch the wizard. Now, this gives the dealer 2 options. Either it's going to be a new installation or it's going to be a current installation that they can change the settings on a prior installation. We're doing a new installation. We have a brand new car in our bay as a 2011 Honda Accord. So I'm going to select new installation. The year is a 2011 Honda Accord. Now this is where it gets really interesting. As I said, this interface, this module has the interface built into it. So not only do you have a security remote start with the interface built into it, now we can actually move into the digital era. So there is a digital firmware available for this vehicle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select next because I want to use that digital firmware on my application. So now we come to the next page. This page right here is a security feature that we provided into the interface that actually gives the customer a security feature as far as all push-to-start vehicles. What this feature is, it's called the Engine Idle Protection System. What it does is for all PTS vehicles, customers that own a push-to-start, when they get to their destination, if they forget to shut their vehicle off once they exit the car, all PTS vehicles will continue to run until they run out of gas. Potential hazard that we don't want. So in our interface, we actually put a security device for the customer to enhance their vehicle to shut down if they forget to shut it down by pushing the button in the dash. So I'm going to enable this and keep this active because I want this security feature for my customer. So we move on to the next page. Now, since this is an all-in-one solution, this module needs to know what is it going to be controlled by, okay? We can either use an RF remote of ours, we can use automatic 3-lock start off the factory remote of the customers, or we can actually add a smart start and hook up a smart start with it as well. So I'm going to actually select an RF remote. Once I select that, it's looking at the remote that I selected. Now I can advance to the next page. This is where all the settings are done that the customer requests or the installer changes for the options that the customer is looking for. So the first one, you have your security features. We can go in and select our security features. Second one is any remote start features that the installer needs to change that the customer requests. Next down the list, we have our system features, door lock pulls, door lock outputs, depending on the type of platform that the installer is working on. Next one is all the sense configuration, all the sensors that they're adding to the system, we can configure those as well. Next one, we're going to actually do the OEM fob control. If they are doing the factory 3-lock start off the factory remote, this is where the installer would select that feature. All my settings are set. Let's go to the next page. This is where the installer is going to set up any auxiliary functions that the customer requested. Say the customer has some sliding doors, a motorized lift gate, stuff like that. This is where those would be configured in that section. We are done here. Let's move on. Now we're at the end. We can flash all of our settings to this module just by the click of the flash button. Once I select flash, the system actually looks for all the settings that I have set and want to be set in the module itself. As you can see, once all of our check marks are done, the last one is actually flashing the firmware required for the platform on this Honda Accord. Once that firmware is loaded, I will be good to go on unplugging it, taking it to my vehicle, and installing it in the car. Once the process is done, I can actually go in and actually save it as a file. By doing that, say you're doing multiple of the same vehicle, you can save it, and instead of going back in on a new installation and changing the settings one by one, you'll have that file already saved. You can go grab it, put it in the module, and you'll be done. You won't have to go one by one with any settings to be changed. You have that file already set. This is another benefit for the installer that's flashing this module is all the install guides are right here on that flashing page. He accesses those install guides, prints them out, takes them to the vehicle, and installs the product in the car. Now, you go from that XpressStart 1 all-in-one security remote start interface to the complete digital solution. What that solution is our DB All. This DB All is a complete digital solution. What that means is I can take this DB All, flash it for the car that I'm working on, and actually becomes the remote start. With this being just the remote start, I don't have to put anything else in the vehicle to get this to remote start the vehicle. Okay, that is what we call RSR, remote start ready. The vehicle doesn't even have to have a remote start factory-wise in the vehicle. My interface will do that for the customer. So being a complete solution as far as a digital solution, we are now going to flash this digital DB All for an RSR application. Again, we're going to go to the front of Xpresskit.com. This is the page. This is your resource page to flash all of your interfaces. I will take my XK Loader 2. I will plug it into my interface. Once I plug it in, the site will actually tell me what firmware is currently on this module up in the top left corner. Well, I have a Chrysler vehicle, Chrysler Caravan, Dodge Caravan that I am working on, 2011, that I want to do RSR. Customer came in with a 2011 Dodge Caravan. Since my module's plugged in, Xpresskit.com already sees this interface. So the only thing that comes up on the page is that interface. And as you can see right here on this page, over in the third column, there's a picture of a car. And in that car, it says RSR. That tells me that this vehicle is capable of doing remote start ready, where the DB All becomes your interface. So, my cursor is going to come over here to configure for RSR. I select RSR. Now we're going to actually launch the RSR configuration tool. Once it detects my module, I've already put the year, make, and model onto the site. So it's already populated up on the screen. The only thing that I got to do is make sure that that information is correct, that proper firmware that's on the screen is the one that I'm looking for. So next, we're going to go to the next page. Again, just like our XpressStart 1, this digital solution needs to know, what are you going to control me with? An RF kit, which is an RF remote of ours, 3-lock start off the factory fob, or are you going to add Smart Start where your phone becomes your remote? So my customer wants the 3-lock start, but they don't want to add a remote, but they want the long-ranging transmitter. So I select 3-lock start and smart start. Just by checking the box, now my customer has 3-lock start off their factory remote, and their phone, as I put in the smart start, actually becomes a long-ranging transmitter as well. So we'll move on to the next page. Again, just like the XpressStart 1, now we go into the configuration tool. How long do I want the car to run? How do I want to set up heated seats, rear defroster? All of these settings need to be discussed prior to the installation so we can get these all set upon flashing the module. Now, all my settings are set. We're going to select next. Here's the flashing page. We're going to select flash. We are now flashing this module to do RSR in this vehicle. I don't need any other product other than the Smart Start with this DB-All to get remote start in this car. So what this does for the dealer, this actually allows them to shave down the amount of time it takes to put it in the vehicle, giving the customer a complete digital solution of remote start in their vehicle. Our interface is done flashing. I am ready to unplug it, take it to the vehicle, and install it after I pull up the install guide and take it with me to the car. Taking it from the digital solution, where we're shaving down the time it takes to put the product in the vehicle, giving a customer a complete digital solution, to now offering a complete digital solution with a T-harness installation, shaving down the time even more on putting it in the car. By doing the T-harness, this T-harness right here gives you a plug-and-play solution. So this DB-All that I flashed in RSR, I have to connect wire to wire. Well, Directed has T-harnesses available: Dodge, Jeep, Chrysler, Toyota, Lexus, and General Motors. This now gives the dealer the ability to do a plug-and-play installation with the RSR digital solution.